What's up, guys? It is just our Sunday night update. A little bit of everything, maybe on the fly. Foul score, triple threat main event. A lot of what we'll talk about tonight is probably going to be some NFL news. So if you're a football fan, get ready. We got a lot to catch up on. Just I felt like coming on tonight. I know it's a little bit late for some of you guys out there, but 9 o'clock. And with the time change, it doesn't feel like it's 9 o'clock. It feels like 8 o'clock to me. So I'm a little wired up right now. So um, first of all, last night the biggest rivalry in college basketball at Cameron Indoor Stadium, um, Duke versus Carolina. You know, you, Carolina won the early matchup at the Dean Dome, and this was for either a share of the ACC regular season title or Carolina could outright win it. And Carolina managed to get the sweep, puts Duke away. I think it ended up 5 points. It wasn't really that close. Duke never led. Um, but some interesting moments in that game. Uh, and let me tell you this, guys. It doesn't matter who does it in a situation like that. If a Carolina player did it, I would I would think he needed to be dealt with. What is it with the freaking Duke Blue Devils and tripping players? I mean, Grayson Allen, you got Christian Leitner stomping on somebody. I mean, I don't get. And then this Filipponi kid tripping Ingram when they got tangled up. When he gets up and he said he was like, and let me just ask. I mean, sports media. I know the question had to be asked, but honestly, what kind of response do you think you're going to get if you ask this kid after the game or anytime, why did you intentionally trip that guy? What do you think he's going to tell you? He's not going to say, "Yeah, I did it. I intentionally tripped him." He's got an ACC tournament coming up. There was already, and I don't know if it'll happen or not. There was already mention about maybe a suspension for for a game, which would be in the ACC tournament. And you think they want that to happen coming into the ACC tournament? Their big man to be suspended for a game, first round game? No. So what? I mean, it's all there on video. The video doesn't lie. I mean, one Duke fan. I'm sorry, I'm not a Duke fan. I'll admit it, but right is right. One Duke fan said when Ingram was getting up, he shouldn't have put his hands on Filipponi. He, yeah. Look, Chris Paul was another one that did it from Wake Forest. Henry B. What's up, Henry B? Chris Paul sure did. I mean, we all know Chris Paul, but he did sure did. But you stick your leg out and trip the guy and no call. And then you got away with a freaking clothesline at the end of the game and barking at the referee. And the referee didn't call a foul on him, but it is what it is. The foul score, no pun intended, ended up the right way, I think. Because and even anybody can tell you, I even heard Duke fans saying Carolina wanted it more last night. Carolina was diving first for the loose balls on the floor. They were the aggressive ones. So yeah, Carolina wins the ACC regular season title. Um, and I haven't talked much about this on here either, but I want to ask you guys a question. How many years have fans and students, after a big upset or a big win at home, rushed the floor? It's been going on for years. It's been going on since I was a kid. And all of a sudden, players don't know how to handle it. And you're calling for that to be banned, that the only way they can stop it, like it's And here we go again with the Filipone kid. I hate to keep piling on him. He apparently gets hurt after Wake Forest beats them at Wake Forest uh, by a Wake Forest fan coming on. The reason they knock knees, Filipone sticks his leg out like trying to trip him. So don't give me that. And look, I'm sorry. This is not like it's a first time thing. It just didn't start happening this year. It's been going on for years. It's been going on for years, guys. You don't hear it. This whole, and I hate to get political. This whole society is just like, well, we can't deal with that. We can't. All of a sudden, we can't deal with that. So rushing to court. All of a sudden, now they're talking about possibly. This was one person's suggestion to ending the court rushing. And let me tell you something too. Some of these guys that do the play-by-play, I'm not naming names or anything, but some of them that do the play-by-play, all of a sudden, I can guarantee you this: you guys that are coming out now against this court rushing, like you thought it was a bad thing from the start, had no problem with it before this became social media, a social media high or something like that, that you think will get you somewhere on social media. I'm sorry, but there is no problem to me with rushing to court. Learn to get out of the way. Learn how to. Do you walk in crowds? Do you ever go to the big city? Do you walk in crowds? Hey, do you avoid people? Yeah, you avoid people. That's how you avoid people. You don't stick your knee out trying to trip somebody. That's just my opinion on that. But I mean, come on, guys. This is getting ridiculous. All right. So NFL news. First of all, let's lead off with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, Philadelphia pretty much self-destructed the second half of the season last year. And the first half of the season, this is a Super Bowl contender. Not sure what happened the second half of the year. They fell apart. But now you're off season, you've got two big blows. First of all, Jason Kelce, your longtime center, longtime offensive lineman, I think he was there for 13 years, retires early in the week. And everybody saw the whole emotional announcement from Kelce about his retirement. So there's a big blow to the offensive line. So yesterday, or today, actually, I think, Fletcher Cox, defensive lineman, he announces his retirement on Instagram. I gave everything I had to this team and to this city. I don't know what's next for me, but I do know that I'm forever grateful for my time here in Philadelphia with the Eagles organization. Go Birds. So you lost big parts of your offensive and defensive line. Just like that. Those are two big guys to replace. And I don't think people realize enough how important that connection at quarterback and center is, especially when you've had somebody. That's the only center that Jalen Hurts has known. So, will it be hard to replace? Yeah, it's going to be hard to replace. Will they do it? Maybe they won't have a problem. I don't know, but that's two big blows to the Eagles right there. All right. Another big news coming out of New England. Former first-round draft pick out of Alabama, quarterback Mac Jones, has been traded to the Patriots. They're finalizing a trade. So it's not a done deal, but it should be a done deal as soon as he passes the physical. And the trade can't be processed till Wednesday. That's when the NFL's New Year starts. And you know what they're getting for him? This is a first-round pick. Belichick's first-round pick. They are getting a 6th-round pick for Mac Jones. Now, I said something about it earlier to one of our listeners out there, Robbie Birdsong, an old friend of mine. And Robbie Birdsong says that, and he's got a good point. Um, Belichick killed his confidence in New England. He gets a new start in Jacksonville. But you got to remember, too, he's playing behind Trevor Lawrence. And there's not a good chance that he sees the field unless Trevor Lawrence gets hurt, which I know Jacksonville fans do not want to see that. They don't want any part of that. So yeah, Mac Jones headed to Jacksonville pending a physical. Tampa Bay, we've had this discussion on here about Baker Mayfield, about how Cleveland gave up on him too quick, and he turned Tampa Bay around. A lot of people were expecting Tampa Bay to struggle with no Tom Brady, so they signed Baker Mayfield. Everybody's like, well, that's not going to work. It's not going to work either. But now it's reported they are finalizing a 3-year, $100 million, like Dr. Evil, contract to retain Baker Mayfield. He was on a 1-year, $4 million contract last year, so this is quite a pay raise for Mayfield. Last year, he set career highs with 4,044 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, and beat the Eagles in the wild card round in the playoffs. So, not surprised that they kept him. I think they would be foolish to get rid of him. I think they just signed. Didn't they re-sign Mike Evans a couple weeks ago? So he's going to have. He's going to have some weapons around him, and see if he can defend that NFC South title. Yeah, Mike Evans was signed a couple weeks ago to a 2-year, $52 million deal. So they're spending some money. Let's see what else we got. Looks like Kirk Cousins is going to be hitting free agency. The Minnesota Viking quarterback who tore his ACL last season and missed a lot of the season is going to try free agency. It looks like the top contender right now is the Atlanta Falcons. How does he fit into that system? I don't know. I mean, how did he fit into Minnesota? He was torn Achilles. I'm sorry, it was not an ACL, torn Achilles. You've got Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke at quarterback, and did not look well. And Cousins was having a good year last year till he tore it, but he's not going to have the kind of weapons that Justin Jefferson obviously won't be in Atlanta. So I don't know what they need to put some weapons around him if they're going to do that. And how much were they paying? Vikings do not want to give him a guaranteed deal like they did a 3-year, $84 million fully guaranteed deal that he had as a free agent 2018. But I think does he have anything left in the tank? I don't know. Achilles at that age, it's hard to come off of. We'll see how Aaron Rodgers does it. Let's see what we got here. Bobby Wagner, unlikely to return to Seahawks in free agency. He had that stint with the Rams for a year and then went back to Seattle. So it looks like he's going again. Chris Jones, no surprise here, gets a 5-year deal to become the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL and stays with the Chiefs. He said, we talked about it on the podcast the other night, he said he was not going anywhere. So looks like he was right. He must have already had a deal in the works. The Saquon Barkley sweepstakes has started. Among the top suitors for Saquon, the Chargers, Ravens, and Bears. I don't see any Cowboys up there, Eric Sawyer. I'm sorry to tell you. But Saquon, how much money do you think Saquon can get? How much? We know he's got some injury issues from the past, but does he still have something that left in him? I don't know. It will be interesting. Somebody's going to take a chance. That's for sure. Somebody will take a chance with Saquon. Let's see what else we got going on. It looks like the Chargers, speaking of Chargers, they're up. They are open to trading some of their veterans, among others, Khalil Mack. Ugh. You got a defense in place there with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa is also somebody that they're willing to listen to trade offers for. Uh, I don't know, guys. I don't know about that Chargers. They're going to have the two highest salary cap hits with $38.5 million for Mack, $36.6 for Bosa, and they're $20 million over the cap right now, and they got to be cap compliant starting Wednesday. So I don't know if they'll, they may end up trying to restructure some contracts or something like that. I know Austin Eckler's probably gone. He's not. I don't think they're going to re-sign him. He's going to end up somewhere else at running back. But it should be interesting to see what the Chargers decide to do. Cowboys have granted Michael Gallup permission to seek a trade. If they don't trade him first, they're going to probably release him ahead of March 17th when $4 million of his $8.5 million salary becomes guaranteed. So the Cowboys looking to unload. Maybe they're going to make a run at Derrick Henry. I don't know. Maybe they're going to make a run. That's one. They need a running back, but you also can't give up. I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Brandon Cooks. So maybe you're all right at wide receiver. But remember, this is also the team that got rid of Amari Cooper. And I don't know how many Cowboy fans said that was a huge mistake. Speaking of Amari Cooper just got some help in Cleveland. The Broncos traded wide receiver Jerry Jeudy to the Cleveland Browns exchange for a 5th and 6th round pick this year. Of course, you cannot process the deal until Wednesday. It will save Denver $12.9 million in the salary cap, and they're trying to get straight with the cap. I mean, how much was the hit from Russell Wilson though? I mean, I would have kept him instead of having dead cap money. Steelers are open to trade offers for wide receiver Deontay Johnson. I think next year his contract comes up. Maybe they're trying to get something for him before his contract is up. I know he had some issues last year with other teammates. There was a scuffle in the tunnel at halftime of one game. I think that was the Bengals game where he let a fumble go past him and he just walked away, walked right by it, and he could have picked it up. But I don't know. As a Steeler fan, I don't know what to say about that. I think I don't think they had the depth at wide receiver that warrants this kind of move unless they can get something, a receiver for that and a draft pick or something. I don't know. Steelers also interested in signing Russell Wilson. I know he was at the facilities on Friday, I believe. Friday or Saturday, I can't remember which day he was there. And he also had an exploratory meeting with the New York Giants. Now, if you're going to have a meeting with the Giants, why are you meeting with the Giants where Daniel Jones just got all this money? Unless you're going to be a backup, unless you're going to compete. Because it's a little different situation in Pittsburgh. Because Pittsburgh, you've got a third-year quarterback with Kenny Pickett that you can compete with. Whoever signs Russell Wilson, even if he's got a little bit left in his tank, is going to get a good deal paying him, because I've heard he's talking about the league minimum, and Denver still has to pay him the majority of his contract. So, excuse me. I guess I didn't. Time changes affect me more than I thought to. All right, so what's going on? We're looking at the rumor mill. See what we got up here. Baker's deal is guaranteed $50 million over 2 years. So he's guaranteed money. Wow. Let's see. Two other Chargers names coming up in trade talks. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I don't think Allen will go. Mike Williams might go. He's been so injury prone. You can't depend on him. Kevin Byard, the All-Pro safety, it's come to terms that he is now a Chicago Bear. He's in the Windy City. I think that's about it as far as the big NFL news. Anything, of course, March Madness is right around the corner. I'm working on some ideas, guys, to try to do a March Madness bracket about some. Maybe it'll be a favorite best college basketball player of all time. You have several up there that could be up there. David Thompson, Bill Walton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Pete Maravich. That may be a bracket that I do, and I may do that on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Did you see the scuffle today in the women's SEC championship game between South Carolina and LSU? 6 players ejected. And this got kind of rough. I mean, it really got kind of rough there for a while. I thought I was looking at Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown for a while. Of course, how about, we haven't talked about this either, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark sets the all-time scoring record in the NCAA basketball. I'm talking about men. She breaks Pete Maravich's record of points scored. But that game went head-to-head with an NBA game. And the ratings killed it. I mean, more people with good reason wanted to see Caitlin Clark try to break the record than see an NBA team, 2 NBA teams not play defense. So I don't blame them. I am not. I'm telling you, the NCAA, the NBA, excuse me, the NBA is a joke now to me. It's all about how many points you can score now, and it's like the other team doesn't care. Other teams say, "Well, if y'all going to score 2, we're going to come down and shoot a 3. We're going to try to get 3. Let's see how many threes we can make. Let's not worry about strategy. Let's not worry about trying to play defense. Let's just worry how many points. The people want to see us score 150 points and lose. The NBA All-Star game was a joke. I watched about 5 minutes of that, and I turned it away. And the only reason I watched 5 minutes of it was the replay came on. I dozed off on my couch, and the replay was on somewhere that I had on the channel. I don't know how it got on there, but I was sitting there watching it, and I was like, oh, my gosh. And they scored over 200 points? So you remember back? I remember back as a kid watching the NBA All-Star game and being excited about it because these guys went to war with each other. I mean, they were trying to outplay each other. They were trying to shut each other down. It's a joke. It's a joke. I can't see how the NBA ratings could be up, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Stephen Curry's out with an injury. NFL draft. 34 compensatory draft picks among 14 NFL teams. Let's see who got the compensatory. Because, I mean, that's an extra draft pick. Did my Steelers get any? Not a one. Nope. The Jets got 3. How many did the Jets get? Good Lord. Jets got 3. Rams and 49ers got special compensatory third-round picks under the NFL's Minority Coach and General Manager Initiative. 5 to the Rams and 5 to the 49ers. So Rams and 49ers will have a big draft coming up. Good Lord. Like the 49ers need to load up anymore. So talk about a little bit about music. Let me tell you guys what I'm listening to right now. You know, I do my album challenge, and I've been listening to some different stuff. I'm looking up. I want to see something right quick before I let you guys go. Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top going on tour 2024. They've launched the tour. Excuse me. I'm looking at stories on Ultimate Classic Rock, guys. You know, that's who I check out most of the time. She's who I look at first. I don't see anything too interesting up here. I'll tell you what I've been watching, though. My daughter got me into it, and she's been watching it for a while. And for some reason, she sat down and watched it the other day, and I sat down with her. And when she was watching it the first time around, I was like, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to watch this. But The Outer Banks, the TV series on Netflix, I have watched the whole first season, and I'm gonna watch once we get around to it. I'm gonna start watching the second season with her. We've watched a little bit of the second season, and I'm like hooked on it now. I mean, she knows. She kind of knew I would like it. We watch a lot of that stuff, like Stranger Things. I'm looking forward to that coming out. Cobra Kai. I'm hearing Cobra Kai may be coming out late in this year. I hope that story was right. But yeah, listen to right now some of the things I've been listening to since the last time that I did an update on this, and it would go back. It'll go back kind of hard. And I listen to a little bit of everything up here. The Ace Frehley's new album, 10,000 Volts, who I'm hoping will have a special surprise guest on the fly sometime in the next week or so. I'm keeping my fingers crossed this is going to work out. So 10,000 Volts, we've done an episode on that. Prince's Dirty Mind, going back way back. Brooks and Dunn, Waiting on Sundown. George Strait, Chilling Early Fall, doing a lot of country right now. Alan Jackson, Don't Rock the Jukebox. Olivia Newton-John, Totally Hot. Megadeth, So Far So Good So What. Metallica, Master of Puppets. AC/DC, Powerage. ZZ Top, Antenna. Willie Nelson, Always on My Mind. Zach Brown Band, From the Road, Volume 1 covers. They do a lot of I knew nothing about this album until I was looking through Apple Music, browsing through, and it had some suggested one. But the covers they do up here, I mean, anything from Bohemian Rhapsody to Enter Sandman, Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, which was interesting, to say the least. Margaritaville, Eleanor Rigby, Neon, and then The Way You Look Tonight, so among others. Let me talk about this next one too. This is an EP, which is like a 6-song. It's only 6 songs, but former guest of the show, Written by Wolves, who were a band from overseas. Their Burn EP. If you guys are into some rock, melodic rock, check these guys out. Written by Wolves, the Burn EP. There was so many good songs. There was only one song that I would say, The rest of them were killer songs that I would listen to over and over again. I will go back and listen to them again. Duran Duran's newest one, Danse Macabre. I guess that's how you say it. That was pleasantly a surprise to me. There were some good songs on there. I'm not the biggest Duran Duran fan. I like some of their hits, but it's not like it's one that I go back to. The Bay City Rollers, my boys. I was a big Bay City Rollers fan back in the day, and you've heard me. I've done a couple of episodes. Interviews with one of the Rollers. I've done a top 10 songs from the Rollers episode way back when. Their new EP, Brand New Day, which is only 3 songs on it, but that was pretty good. Lord I don't know. I've never listened to these guys before. This was a suggestion from somebody. Lord Adversity, Skeletric Dinosaur, because it's got a lot of Kiss influence on it. I can hear the Kiss influence on it. Not bad. It's not, I don't know if it's something I'd want to listen to again, but it's not bad. Ozzy Osbourne, the live album Speak of the Devil, which he did all Sabbath songs back in the day. The Spinners, yeah, I'm getting into a little bit of Motown, a little bit of the old R&B. The Spinners, Mighty Love. Not a bad album. I remember as a kid getting my dad had the 45, the Spinners, Working My Way Back to You. And I used to play the heck out of that. And of course, I think it's Rubber Band Man was one that Dad used to listen to too. Hall and Oates back in the day, the voices that had You've Lost That Loving Feeling, Kiss on My List, You Make My Dreams Come True. And then a lot of people don't realize it's, and this may be a song that unless you were a kid back in the 80s like I was, that you don't know a whole lot about. But Paul Young's Every Time You Go Away, which was a big hit for Paul Young. But the Hall and Oates did this before Paul Young. This is on this album. And it's a different version of it. It sounds a lot different than Paul Young's version. Stevie Wonder, Hotter Than July. I'm just about finished with that one. That's got a great version of his version of Lately, which is not my favorite version of that song. Lately. You remember that song, Lately? Jodeci, back in the day, did an unplugged. I think it was like a Uptown. They called it Uptown Unplugged. There was a lot of R&B artists doing unplugged, and they did a version of Lately that kills it. I mean, no offense to Stevie Wonder's version because it's great. I gave it a 4 out of 5, but Jodeci's I would give a 5 out of 5. It's just great. I love that song. 38 Special. Look, I am a 38 Special fan. 38 Special coming soon to a theater nearby me, Run It Rapids, North Carolina, the Run It Rapids Theater. If you guys have not checked out the Run It Rapids Theater, they've got Sarah Evans is coming. Aaron Lewis is coming there. 38 Special. Total Tech. I don't know who Total Tech is, but Total Tech just left me this. Dude, my wife just kicked me out, and now I have to sleep at Walmart in my truck. I don't know who you are, Total Tech, but I'm sorry to hear that. If you know me, I'm sorry. You're sleeping at Walmart. That sounds. I'm not trying to pick fun at you, but I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that, buddy. 38 Special, the Wild Eyed Southern Boys, and then I started on the new Mick Mars album, The Other Side of Mars, which so far I've only got one song into it, and it's pretty good. That first song was pretty good. I was impressed. Total Tech. That's weird. It's okay. I've got my Total Tech. Who do I know you? Do I know you? I mean, is this somebody local that I know, or somebody that's just have you been listening to me for a while? Or just come up? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that, dude. I hope I'm giving you a little bit of. If you're sitting in your truck listening to me, I hope I'm giving you a little bit of entertainment. That's not a good place to be if you've been kicked out by your wife. Sorry, bud. My prayers go out to you. So I showed up on your YouTube page. Okay. Well, I appreciate you too. Hey, where are you from, Total? I appreciate you tuning in. I mean, giving me a chance, and hopefully you'll subscribe. If you don't mind, give me a subscribe to my page. I'll try to keep you entertained. Minnesota, it's got to be cold there. I don't know. Many times it's not cold in Minnesota. Got to be cold there. Some of the ones I'm getting ready to. I listen to a Steely, and look, I've always said whenever I listen to one album, it's freezing. Man, I hope you've got something to keep you warm. If not, find somewhere Find something. Go in Walmart, get you a blanket or something to keep you warm. That's not even funny, dude. That's not even funny. That yeah, guys, I don't like hearing that. Um, let me know you got something to keep you warm, or don't you have a? Is there a friend you could go to and stay, keep yourself warm? Because you don't need to be. People don't need to be out in the freezing like that. I know you're in a truck, but still. Steely Dan. If I listen to one album off, I'm going to listen to the whole discography. A blanket and a candle. Okay. Well, that's better than nothing. At least you got that, and you can run the heat a little bit in the truck. Um, Steely Dan, we got one of those, and Dolly Parton, 9 to 5 and Odd Jobs. I got from Warren Meredith from Tame and Sorry. Warren's up there in Canada. A big Canadian band back in the day, April Wine. I got Nature of the Beast. That was a Warren suggestion. Then I've got Diana Ross. I haven't done any of Diana Ross yet. Diana and Black Sabbath, Born Again. Total. Make sure you look, dude. I hope you. If you go out before I go out, if I don't get to talk to you, my prayers are with you, bud. I hope everything works out. I hope you stay warm tonight. If I could do something for you, I would. But I'm here in North Carolina, so not much I can do. Not much I can do here except send you a prayer and some good luck to you. Let's see what else we got on Ultimate Classic Rock. Elton John and Daryl Hall are going on tour together. Wow, starting June the 2nd. It's about time for them to start announcing some summer tours, some summer events. So maybe that'll happen soon. Slash announces star-studded blues covers LP, Orgy of the Damned. It's going to feature Brian Johnson, Steven Tyler, Billy Gibbons, Iggy Pop, and more. Bon Scott biopic lands at Star. This guy doesn't look really anything like Bon Scott, but I'm sure they'll do a job on him. Slash he's got a new song featuring Brian Johnson and Steven Tyler from that aforementioned album. Their cover of Howlin' Wolf's Killing Floor is the first single off that blues cover LP. Wolfgang, Van Halen and family donate $100,000 to music programs. It's pretty cool. Let's see. What else we got going? Because there's some stuff we've missed since the last time we've been on here. But of course, there's a big seems to be a big feud going back and forth between Wolfgang Van Halen and David Lee Roth. Wolfgang has said just to take whatever David Lee Roth says with a grain of salt. Let's see. Doobie Brothers reunite with Michael McDonald on an album. That's pretty cool. I'm getting ready to get off here, guys. I'm getting ready so you don't have to hear my mouth. Judas Priest comes out with their new album, Invincible Shield. I've got to put that on my list. Anyway, that looks like U2 has finished their residency at the Sphere. Nothing really much more to say but that. Here, Def Leppard's photograph rough mix of Pyromania 40. Oh, yeah, Def Leppard's got an anniversary box set. Speaking of box sets, what about the Kiss Creatures of the Night box set? They had the one that came out with the CDs. But now they've released a 9 LP box set, same stuff. And also you get let me see, I'm bringing it up right now, guys, so you can hear this. I want to get the Creatures of the Night 40th anniversary. And I'm noticing none of this stuff is sold out yet as far as the what I need, a Creatures of the Night scarf. for $50. I've already said that. All right. Creatures Tour 82-83 long sleeve plus Creatures of the Night 40th anniversary 9 LP super deluxe limited edition glow in the dark vinyl bundle. You want to know how much this bad boy is going to set you back? And this is the same, it looks like the same inserts that came with the CD. This bad boy, it only costs $967.50. You have got to be freaking crazy. I heard a lot of Kiss fans talking when this came out. This came up over, I think it was Friday when they released it, saying, what the heck are they thinking? This is not going to sell out. And then, look, they thought, okay, we'll give you another one. Rock and Roll Hell Black Hoodie plus Creatures of the Night 40th anniversary 9 LP super deluxe limited edition 180 grade black vinyl bottle. Oh yeah, what a great thing. They're going to sell that for $610. Sorry, I'm a Kiss fan, but I'm not doing that. That's crazy. You're gonna price it right. And look, if you get it from Kiss Online, like I've ordered stuff from Kiss Online, you don't get it the day it comes out. You get it like 3 weeks later. It gets trapped in the Bermuda Triangle of shipping for some reason. I don't know what goes on with that, but it ends up in the same spot every time when you're tracking, and it stays there for like days and days and days. It does not move. I don't get it. Guys. But anyway, Joe McGinnis and my buddy Robert Myers, Joe McGinnis, John Murphy, thank you for liking the video. Appreciate you guys. Looks like we got 26 people in here. You guys on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it. You guys, if y'all want to chime in, by all means, chime in. I can see I'm supposed to be able to see your comments now. Hey, get somebody out there. If you're listening on Twitter, can you make a comment so I can see if it comes up on here? Just say hello. Just let me know you're here so I can see. Because I have yet. They say it'll pop up. What you talking about, Willis? Who is Facebook user? Is this Robert Matthews? What you talking about, Willis? I'm not Arnold Jackson or Mr. Drummond. But yeah, what are you guys watching right now? What is something that you guys are streaming? I'm looking for stuff to. Troy Froman, yes, we've got to get you on the show. I'm going to set something up with you soon. What are you guys watching? What are you guys streaming? And hey, guys, I there on X. If you can, I don't care who it is. Just send me a comment this way if I can see if it is. Total Tech, you still here? You got something to eat, Total? Yes, I will. I'm gonna watch The Stalker 2. The Stalker 2, guys. Make sure you stream The Stalker 2 with Troy Froman. He will be a future guest of this show. I'm putting him down. I need to put him down on my calendar. I'm just a reminder to watch that and to get you on the show. Troy is, if you're wondering if that name rings a bell, Brian Burgess. Thank you, Brian Burgess. You listened. Yes, you are the first comment I've ever got on X. Appreciate that, Brian. Appreciate you watching. Brian, where are you from? But Troy played, if you guys are my age or maybe in that. No, you haven't done my show yet. We got to get you on. I'm booked for like the next 3 weeks. So after that, we'll start talking. I've got your contact info. You haven't been on here yet, dude. Troy played Ox from Saved by the Bell. If you remember, if you guys, a lot of people, and he's been on a lot of other things. The Stalker 2. the last time he came in live, he told us about a part that he was getting ready to play in a movie, in an upcoming big time movie. So hopefully, Troy, that's still on go. Lexington, Kentucky. Okay, I got you, Brian. Thank you for chiming in, Brian. I appreciate it. I just wanted to see if the people, because I've got a lot of people on X right now listening. I just wanted to see if anybody was really listening to what I was telling them to do. Yes, you did. I don't know if you want to spill the beans. Is it still on go? You did, Troy. Guys, had to give me a drink. While we're sitting here, is it Joker? It's Joker 2. Troy Froman is going to be in Joker 2. So you guys remember that when you look for Troy Froman coming in Joker 2. He broke that. Well, I don't know if he broke the news, but he talked about it the last time he came on a live thing here. That's a big time. That's going to be a big time movie. A lot of people. I need to catch up on the Joker one. So, Troy is going to be a featured inmate. So you'll be able to spot him. You'll definitely be able to spot him in the movie. It's not going to be a bit part. It's going to be a featured part. Put it that way. If he's a featured inmate. Talk about a little bit about these other podcasts that I just mentioned. Robert Myers from the Right Between the Eyes podcast. We've got a show where we had two of the guys from Right Between the Eyes on. That's going to be coming up soon. We're going to have that out soon. You guys will like that, especially if you're fans of like the 80s rock music. We do a great show, and we kind of incorporated one of their featured segments into our show, which was kind of cool. Hopefully I'll be able to get on the Right Between the Eyes podcast one day. Look, those guys are so great. I didn't get all three of them on, but hopefully we'll have all three of them on in the future with another episode. But it was a great time had by all. I hope they had a great time. As great time as I did. Make sure you check out Right Between the Eyes. Of course, the Shout It Out Loud podcast. Tom and Zeus, they do a great job over there. The Potter Than Hell podcast with my buddy Steve Wright. Growing Up Rock with Stephen Michael and Sonny Hollywood Pooney. Podcast Rock City with Joey Casada, Lee Westy, and Sonny Pooney. And I could pretty much say any podcast and insert Sonny Pooney's name in it. I've been listening to some wrestling podcasts too, guys. And one of them that, of course, the Conrad Thompson ones, I listened to a lot of them. You know, the Tony Schiavone, because Tony Schiavone was such a big part of my childhood, and to see him hear him talk about things and do a podcast, talk about old stuff back then is great. And hearing his thoughts on the product day. Of course, he works for AEW now. More details on your day. What's happened today, Troy? But that's a good one to listen to. But there's another one that I didn't think I would really care for. But I've got to where I listen to him, and he's really insightful. Shane Douglas. Of course, you might know him. Of course, he's most known for being the franchise in ECW. Had a cup of coffee in WWE as Dean Douglas. Oof, not as bad as Red Rooster, but Dean Douglas. What about? You remember when he always talked? He did the little vignettes, and he would have a chalkboard up there where he was diagramming. He had the whole like graduation robe on, and he was writing on a chalkboard. And at the end of it, he would scratch across the chalkboard, make that noise that you really didn't like to hear. But But yeah, that one, and then he was one of the dynamic dudes back in the day. He started off early at UWF. He was like supposed to be Magnum TA's protege. He did the belly to belly. Had a great tag team with Ricky Steamboat. They won the WCW tag titles a few times against the Hollywood big feud with the Hollywood Blondes. But yeah, I enjoy listening to him talk. Him and the host on there, they're really insightful up there. I enjoyed listening to it. That's one that I would definitely be listening to over and over again. Of course, my weekly playlist with Brian Colburn. Guys, he's had some incredible guests over the last year. I know Brian's got some things going on right now that keep him and your families in your prayers, as I have. But Brian has built up such a following and has done such a great job. A big fan of uh, my weekly playlist. Gomez, uh, he does the Sleevy G podcast. Ando Gomez. If you want to check out, I've been a guest on that show talking about the history of the world movies and the series. Um, Gosh, there's so many I'm leaving out. I know. I remember now. Steve Wright from the Pot and Hill podcast does with I can't think of the guy's name, but it's a Queensryche. If you're a fan of the group Queensryche, you should check out. I remember now. It's all Queensryche, and you might be hearing a Queensryche episode of On the Fly coming soon. There's going to be more just to get you up to speed. There's going to be more album reviews on the Fly. We've got stuff going on with Triple Threat Main Event. Of course, we do every week. Free agency is getting ready to start in the NFL. We're going to kick up big time on the Final Score with that, and the draft's coming up. So you know how we like to do our mock drafts, and I'm trying to get this. Like I said, a lot of things have taken a toll on me in the last 8 months. Jason Jenkins, thank you for liking the video. A lot of things going on, dude, that have taken a toll on me in the last 7 or 8 months, and I'm trying to power through it, and I'm trying to get. I feel like this podcast and coming to you guys live sometimes helps kill time and helps me get my mind off things. But you guys be sure to give us a follow. You see all the social medias up there, On the Fly on X, On the Fly on Instagram, and Stevie Fly's FINA. I'm trying to change the name of that on TikTok. Follow us on Apple Music, Spotify. Give us a 5-star review, please. That helps more than you know. It'll get my name out there a little bit more, and I can get some guests. They'll see it out there. It gets the podcast out there more where people can see it. But it doesn't cost you anything. It takes like 3 minutes. So if you're drinking a cup of coffee one day, say, hey, I'm going to give On the Fly a 5-star review while I'm drinking this cup of coffee. You won't be finished your cup of coffee by the time you do that. So it won't take you long at all. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off. We've been up here for almost an hour now, so I think we've rambled on for long enough. All-time high on 30. I got 30 people in here right now. Thank you guys. Thank you all on all the people out there on the X. I got 28 out there on the X listening right now. You guys, thank you so much. Don't be afraid to chime in, guys. I am all about starting conversations. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. Troy Froman, thank you for stopping in. Brian Burgess, Total Tech. I hope everything goes okay with you, bud. I got you in my prayers that everything will work out. Henry Ford, thank you guys. Everybody that liked, you guys are great. You guys are awesome. Check us out on all the socials. Give us a subscription and the 5-star reviews. And you guys have a great night. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow sometime. But until next time, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you on the fly.